A dear friend and pastor in India asked me to share a testimony of my cancer trek. I had leukemia in 2011, and at the start of it, uh, well, let's begin with this. When I was told, for some reason, I was filled with this incredible joy. And I can only think that that was the grace of God. I really had lived a rather charmed life. I'd hardly had anybody in my family die. I'd hardly ever been at a funeral. I really had had no sicknesses in my life. I was on no medication. And then I was diagnosed with a very rare form of leukemia. As soon as I heard it, I was filled with joy, and I realized that this was my first chance to really discover whether I was a real believer, whether I really could say that no matter what, that God works together for good everything that is in the life of those who love him and are the called according to his purpose. I feel like at the start of it, God told me that you will not die, but you need to go through this whole process. It was a long process. The treatment itself was a good 10 months long. During that time, I had a minor heart attack. I had chemo. I had to have a bone marrow transplant. But through it all, God gave me grace. And to this day, it is a time of fond memories for both myself and my wife. A couple years later, I got a different cancer that had a lot to do with the first cancer because my immune system had to be suppressed in order to deal with the first cancer and the bone marrow transplant that I had. And that second cancer was a lot harder than the first, and it was a big fight for me. But it was something that I'm grateful for because I got a chance to focus my mind on following God and to serve him even when it was difficult to serve him, to keep my mind on him even when everything in the back of my mind was telling me to be depressed. And God has sustained me through all of that. And I just want to give him glory for that and to say that in whatever circumstance that you are in, the thing to do is to cry out to God for grace, to keep your eyes on him, and he can bring you through anything that is needed.